Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Rob from Crypto Bob, and wanted to take a little bit of time right now just to kind of sit back, relax, and hopefully watch ETH run through this $8,500 sell wall going on right now at 300 per ETH. So wanted to just take a little bit of time to kind of chill out and see what is going on with the charts. We have ETH's been battling 300 for, I would say, maybe the better part of the past 15 to 30 minutes or so. We pushed 300, 299 and change at a certain point in time, maybe 15 minutes or so, and went back to 297. Pushed that, didn't get all the way, had some support at 297, but really right now trying to see if we can really hit through this 300 mark. And it looks like we have a massive ass sell wall at 300, and just posted this into Reddit. So if you're joining from Reddit, feel free to sound off in the comments. Would love to and hear what you're thinking as we push up 300. I'm at this point in time, I'm hoping that we see a little bit of, some folks pulling that sell wall. Yeah, to the damn moon. It would be it'd be nice. I think if we hit past 300, we're gonna be seeing quite a bit of a run past that 300 mark, especially now that it looks like a lot of people with Bitcoin at kind of the all-time high right now, or pretty damn near close to the all-time high. Some money is going back into ETH, and really liking that from the Bitcoin to ETH ratio perspective. I have money in a little bit of money in Bitcoin, but a lot more in ETH, and I'm really interested to see kind of how that is going to pop off in the future. Right now, really only about $1.40 away from 300, and that sell wall really, I'm trying to look in, keeps growing and growing. So that's going to be it's either going to be a pretty freaking crazy eat on that sell wall, or we're just going to get pushed back to, to all hell. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting, pretty fun to watch. Also, if you are new here, this is a pretty new channel, I know that, but throw up a subscribe to the channel if you could. That would be freaking awesome. I really love that. Somebody just asked, am I invested in Neo? It is a small investment that I have in Neo. I actually sold some today to put back into ETH. I felt like Neo, kind of the old buy the rumor, sell the news thing. I got Neo, I think it was at $6 or so, and sold it at maybe 16. So pretty good trade. Darren, do you daily trade? I put some, so I have a lot in cold storage right now. I have a decent amount in cold storage, and then the rest I have, an account in Bittrex, and just kind of play around with that. For the past month or so, it's been kind of hard to lose money. So it's gone all right. At least for the past week or so, it's been kind of tough to lose money. And now, hopefully we're looking at this. If we're breaking through 300 now, I think, kind of not necessarily sky's the limit, but I'm pretty excited about getting through 300. I think that's a pretty big opportunity, especially with Bitcoin at the all-time high and ETH, still $100 below what was, 400, 420, that all-time high. Hoping that's going to be something that, we can make some inroads on. And that's really a big reason too why I am, somewhat heavily invested in ETH in comparison to some other things. I think that the technology is only getting better. I think there's, really strong leadership in ETH. So the fact that the technology is only getting better, I would highly, in my personal opinion, I'd highly doubt that $400 is going to be the all-time high in ETH forever. I think there's pretty much no way that happens. So when you're looking at it, that is, if you're even if you're getting in right now, I bought a decent amount kind of towards the top, and then also dollar cost averaged on my way down. But if you're looking at it right now, I still think there's quite a lot of room to go here. And somebody's talking about the next resistance being 330. I think that would be awesome to see that pretty quickly. Am I pro ICO or anti ICO? I've invested in a couple different ICOs. I'll talk a little bit about maybe the ICOs I've invested in as we're kind of chilling at 298 here. I got in on Status, which I have a pretty sizable position for me personally, at least. I got in on Status. I got in on Civic. I missed out on 10X. So And so Status and Civic are two of the most recent ones. I also invested in Credo, which is not going that well. They haven't raised, they haven't sold out. But Status and Civic are kind of interesting ones. I'm pro ICO in the sense of the technology. I think it's pretty awesome. It's almost like seed investing it's almost like seed or angel venture capital. It kind of opens up the world to a lot of other people that didn't have access to investing in these in these technologies. But you got to watch out because there's a shit ton of scams going on right now, and I've seen kind of all that type of stuff reported. So you just have to do your due diligence and not get overexcited when it comes to ICOs. The early years of the iOS App Store, I mean, in a lot of cases, this is pretty much the early years of the internet. I mean, we're talking about kind of Web 2.0 or Web 3.0, whatever you want to call it, and the way kind of Ethereum is approaching things, I think is really interesting and really novel, especially too, I mean, you have your pure like cryptocurrency like a Bitcoin, and then you have Ethereum, and you have all these dApps being built to the side of it. So it's in a lot of senses, I mean, it's revolutionary, and I think it's causing a lot of disruption in the sense of the venture capital or angel investing as well. I mean, one thing too with the SEC regulations that came out. I'm in the U.S. I know not everybody watching this probably is. U.S. regulations are not always the greatest. I hate paying taxes, but I don't want to go to jail, so I pay taxes. But the SEC regulations that came out about those ICOs, I think is somewhat interesting because it really mentions. Looks like we're going to go down to 297 maybe. Let's see what this charts do on the depth chart, if we can hold 298 or not. It looks like there's not a ton of buy support down at 297, so this might be a little bit of a rundown. But yeah, I mean, as far as ICOs go, it's with the SEC, I think the big thing to watch there is the SEC didn't necessarily say, hey, well, number one, they said, we see these ICOs happening. We're not stupid. We see this going on. But number two, we're not going after specifically ICOs in general. What we're keeping an eye on really in the future is ICOs that are promising security-like dividends. So that's, if you're kind of skirting the stock market, or if you're skirting the Securities and Exchange Commission and you're saying, hey, we're not really offering a token. We're basically just offering a stock in the form of, an ERC20 token. That's something you should watch out to. And if you're in the US, you should watch out in terms of investing that as well. Why does the price seem to rise? Yeah, there's, like somebody said, I mean, there's when people are either removing their sell orders in a lot of cases, or there's just a lot of buy support. I think, what we're looking at right now is, in my opinion, it looks like a lot of people know that if we break 300, if we're breaking 300 right now, or in the next minutes or hours or whatever it might be, probably not going to stick around if it's hours, but if we're breaking 300, I think all of the sell orders beyond that are just going to fly off the shelves, and people are going to let it run. That's typically what I've seen, at least when I've been watching the charts, is, and we can even zoom in a little bit here. If we get to a point where, we break past 300 and we get right here, the sell orders, if there are any sell orders, it doesn't look like there is much, but it's going to zoom right past. The second hits 301, it's going to be 30 or 300, it's going to be 301, 302. So there's probably going to be a lot, quite a number of buys there that you would want to keep an eye on. So, even it might be the case where you would set you might want to set if you're a little bit skittish to get in right now, or maybe you're holding, but if you're a little bit skittish to get in right now, you might want to set a buy order at 300 301 cent or something like that, or set a stop order there and then try to buy as soon as that happens, because that might be a decent opportunity there. And again, too, I know for anybody that's new to the channel, this is pretty much a brand new channel. I started it like 2 days ago. So just really wanted to sit back. My wife is on a business trip and I'm done with work for the day. So just kind of chilling out. And if you do want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. I'm going to put out daily videos every day and then throw in a podcast as well. So I'm doing that every day just to talk about what I'm doing and go through that process as well. Any questions too about things going on? It looks like we have a little bit of support at 297. Might get eaten, but looks like for now we might have a little bit of support at 297. But any questions, would love to take them, whether it's, what I have my money in, what I see happening. Happy to, like I said, kind of shoot the shit with all of you. Am I wearing pants? I'm wearing shorts, if that helps. Do I day trade as a full-time job? No, I wish, but no, I work in software sales. So I work at a Fortune 500 company in software sales. I have no engineering background. I have a master's in information systems, so I kind of understand the technology at a high level. I understand systems at a high level, but if we get down to development level, I have no damn clue. What type of wallet do I recommend? I actually just got the Ledger Nano S, and it's pretty sweet. I really like it. You can hold ETH, you can hold all your ERC20 tokens, you can hold Bitcoin, a bunch of other currencies as well. What coins am I invested in, or what percentage? So just overall percentage of my portfolio as a whole, like investable income, probably between like 5 and 10% depending. But what percentage of my coins? I would say like right now, probably 50% in, let's say 50% Ethereum. I could pull up my blockchain app or Blockfolio app right now, just so I can remember what the hell I have my money in. But let's say 50% Ethereum, 25% Status, 15% Neo. I'm getting off on the percentages, but like 15% Omis Go as well is another one. What color Lambo am I going to buy, and am I going to get moon tires? There's actually a Lamborghini dealership in the town next to me, literally 5 minutes away from me. I am not anywhere near Lambo status yet, but I would go black because Batman had, Batmobile. Also, it's not a Lambo, but I rented a Jaguar F-Type convertible when I was in San Francisco for a work trip using the Toro app, which was awesome. And Jaguar F-Type was the sickest convertible and the loudest freaking car I've driven. It was like 500 horsepower, but it was the sweetest thing in the world. So I've kind of convinced myself that maybe I'll cheap out and won't get a Lambo, and I'll go for the Jaguar F-Type. But we'll have to see there as well. Am I broadcasting from a crate and barrel? No, that's my wife's decorating skills. I think that's all from. If I could tell you how long I spent at Home Goods finding that shit, you wouldn't be too happy with me. Thoughts on Neo? I have money in Neo. I like it, I guess. From a technical standpoint, I don't really know too much. I know it's trying to be similar to Ethereum, but I know it's trying to be similar to Ethereum in a lot of senses, and that's kind of the ETH of China. I don't really know how true that is, but from what I've seen, quite frankly, and not to be obnoxious or anything like that, but it looks like really one of the kind of market trends I've seen is anything that Asia gets behind shoots up in freaking price. So if Asia happens to get behind Neo and it can go from, like I got it at $6, and it could go to $50, then that doesn't sound like a bad move. And I think it has some legs and some support in the investing community. Where do I see the bull run going to? I mean, ultimately, I really don't know short term. Ultimately, I would be hard pressed to see that ETH wouldn't get back to its all-time high in the somewhat near future. Let's say in the next 2 to 3 months. I mean, it could be a lot sooner, but I would be hard pressed to not see $400 ETH in the next couple of months. I just think with the way things are moving and rolling to as well. I honestly, with one of the questions, I mean, as far as does ETH try to do too much in comparison to Bitcoin? I really like Bitcoin. It was kind of one of the reasons I got into cryptocurrency back in 2013 or so. And I like it. I like the technology. Obviously, the market cap and kind of it's the 400-pound gorilla in the room. It's the driving force in the market in a lot of perspectives. But I think one of the things that's interesting, and I don't want to, I don't want to, don't talk, I'll make 300 happen. Yeah, I'll just shut the fuck up, right? um, One of the things I think, from Bitcoin's perspective, that's interesting is that like the adoption. I think there's been a couple different articles about major retailers accepting Bitcoin and then kind of stopping the acceptance of Bitcoin because it just wasn't really worth it. Um, so unless Bitcoin really becomes this like widely accepted currency, um, I think it has more limited potential than ETH. Like there's so many different applications to ETH. Or to Ethereum. There's so many dApps being built off of it. There's obviously the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance with massive companies trying to build off of public and private blockchains. I just think there's a lot of really interesting things going on there that make it kind of more versatile than Bitcoin, which is why I have more in Ethereum than I do in Bitcoin. Also, I think Bitcoin is already more mature, so maybe there's less room to run. Ripple and IOTA. As far as that goes, I don't want to say too much. I mean, I know I have a couple good buddies that are invested pretty heavily in Ripple, and I know from like the kind of anarchist or anti-establishment perspective, Ripple's whole thing is like working with banks or working with these big institutions, and the people that are very much Bitcoin are like, no, hey, I got you, Ripple. But no, I don't have any Ripple. But I mean, I think it just depends. If you're really interested, I have a buddy in it that made six figures on a Ripple investment. When I was talking to him about it, he was kind of my first buddy at my job a while ago. Talked to him 3 years ago about Bitcoin, introduced him to Bitcoin. He got into Ripple a couple years ago and really pretty much made six figures off of that. I didn't touch it, so probably shame on me, but it is what it is. Looks like we're picking back up a little bit of support in 297. So, I mean, if everybody just wants to go and throw in a buy order and we'll just hit 300 in a second. What is my take on these coin debit cards? So 10x is obviously one of them. I'm trying to remember the other ones that are kind of on the marketplace right now. Honestly, I looked at 10x from an investment perspective. Tried to get in on the ICO and did not. I didn't make it. It's a shame, but it is what it is. But from my perspective, the coin debit cards, I don't think a lot of them are available in the U.S. Just because of, like I talked about before, the ridiculous amount of regulations in the US. So I really haven't gotten a chance to kind of play around with them or actually looked at utilizing them. To be honest, I have a Chase Sapphire credit card that I love and gives me 3 times points on travel. So I love using that. But yeah, haven't played around too much with or really kind of looked at the actual utilization of some of these coin debit cards like a 10x. But it's pretty awesome that they're going ahead with kind of the adoption. I think it's a good way. I mean, the one thing that I'll say too is that from the perspective of kind of spending, I think a lot of people are more inclined right now to kind of buy and hold than spend their cryptocurrencies. At least from my standpoint, I'm looking at this as an investment. Within cryptocurrency, I had a video earlier today. But within crypto, I mean, what I am putting my money in, it's really for investment purposes. I would, right now at least, I'm not going to take my Ether or my Bitcoin and I'm not going to go to overstock.com and I'm not going to spend and I'm not going to buy a couch or something like that, because I'm viewing this as an investment with potential really long-term gains, potential for me to make hopefully a ton of money. Like I said, I only have maybe 10% of my like net worth or investments into all these cryptocurrencies because I don't have the balls to do all 100%. I'll probably regret that in a year or so when things shoot through the roof, maybe. But I don't have the balls to do that. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of I'm trying to invest these cryptocurrencies. I'm not really trying to spend them, but I want to see, hopefully 5, 10x, 100x gains. That would be pretty damn ideal for me. in the case of almost like angel investing or venture capital, where the first people that invested in Uber are all multi-millionaires. I'm not saying that this is going to be the next Uber, but it very well could be. Bitcoin and Uber have a pretty similar market cap in a lot of respects. So the people that got in on Bitcoin first basically invested in Uber. Only 10%. Yeah. I have a lot of money in my 401ks and my IRA, and then I also diversify in a website called Betterment, which is like just automated. It's a robo-advisor, automated ETFs. I would love to put more, and as the market has moved up, it's more than 10%, I would say, but my initial investment is less than 10%. So actual like fiat cash, it's less than 10% of what I would invest in. And just kind of looking at the charts right now after my ramblings, hopefully about to break 298 and kind of scoot back up all the way to the 299 standpoint. That would be pretty awesome to see. I would freaking love to see live for the 300 breakthrough. That would be freaking ideal. Would really like to see that. I am getting hungry, and I am getting Asian barbecue tonight, which I'm excited about. My wife's out of town, like I said, for work. So I'm sitting back, I'm drinking beers, and I'm getting Asian barbecue, and it's going to be a great night, especially when we break 300, hopefully, fingers crossed. Am I an MMM reader? I don't know what MMM stands for off the top of my head. As far as 10x being its own crypto, yeah, 10x has a credit card, I believe. I was looking to sign up for it or just kind of looking through the process, and you can't use it in the US, so I didn't kind of go down that whole point, but they do have a token, and then with that token, I believe you are supposed to get, when you spend your money on 10x, you get a certain percentage of that back or when you spend that money on the 10x card, you get a certain percentage of that back, which is pretty cool. But I don't think it's a massive percentage back. And I saw somebody posted something on Medium about there needing to be like billions and billions of dollars of transactions through 10x for it to actually be like anything worthwhile. So something to explore further. But where am I from? New York area. Of suburbs of New York City, work in New York City when I'm not working from home. What beer? I haven't bought it yet. Either some type of an IPA or probably Bullet Rye since it's cheap. Gollum, what are my thoughts? I haven't gone too deep into Gollum. That was kind of something that I initially played around with maybe a month and a half ago or so, but didn't get a chance. I haven't really been in it too recently. I mean, really, right now, I have, like I was talking about before, I have probably 6 core holdings, and then I'm looking at kind of opportunities, continuing to try and find opportunities as things go up, as things go down. So, I mean, one of them too that I got into recently that I wanted to, or I was kind of on the border of getting into, and then it just shot through the roof, and I was kind of pissed off that I didn't get into it. Then it went down a little bit, and I got into it. Now I didn't get it down into it as much as I wanted to, but Omise Go or OMG, Omise Go, that's one that a lot of people were talking about, and then it all of a sudden just went through the damn roof. And I was sitting there like, God damn, I was about to pull the trigger on this. I didn't. But I don't know if anybody here got into OMG, especially at the ICO standpoint, but that's a pretty interesting one to, I think, might have some legs and could potentially be like a Stripe type of platform for cryptocurrency, which would really have, maybe have some nice legs there going forward. Checking out these charts now too. It looks like we're getting more and more buy support here, which would be, really, really good to see, especially, I mean, right now it's not necessarily safe to say, but this is the second time we've pushed up 299 or 298 or so. And then, yeah, we all have OMG, right? I haven't checked actually the airdrop. Did that go through, Luis? But, going up to 299, then back down 297 support. that could be potentially, I mean, this could potentially be, even if we go up to 299 again, this could, looks like maybe be some type of a, if you wanted to do some type of a quick trade, it looks like we have a little bit maybe of support. I'm not really reading the charts or anything like that, but this is kind of the second time I've seen this go up to 299, back down to 297. I'm not in GDax or trading right now, but I pretty much have all my fiat that I want in this that is there. But if we go up and push back down again, that could be something where, you might want to pull the trigger at 297, buy a little bit more, maybe sell at 299. I'm holding on right now to see 300. I mean, I think when I started this stream, we were at maybe like an 8.5K sell wall at 300, and now we're over 10K, which is one of the bigger sell walls I've seen in the past like month and a half or so ago. So, I mean, it's a pretty fat sell wall for the time being, but if we can break through that, that's going to be eventually, I think it's going to happen tonight. I'm hoping it happens on the live stream because I would like to just watch. Oh, there goes 297. Looks like 297. We might be down to 296. But I would love to see this, especially for everybody here on the live stream who's in on ETH and watch that get eaten live. That is, I'm not sure what you guys think about that, but watching these charts and kind of seeing this stuff happen is like the most fun thing on the planet. I'd rather, like, I used to watch like TV or maybe play a little bit of video games here and there, but I can just sit here and kind of watch this shit and watch it go and just be amazed at how crazy this just environment is as a whole. And as we're pushing up, on things, I mean, any questions too about just overall crypto or kind of market standpoint, would love to hear it. Your thoughts. There goes 297. It looks like we're maybe pushing back a little bit. Take a look at the price chart as I'm kind of waiting in on some things. But yeah, past 15 minutes past 5 minutes or so have not been super great, but 15 minutes, not bad. I still think we're on a good trajectory here, and I do think we are going to break $300 today. I would love to see it. I think we would all love to see it. So if you could recommend a good show on Netflix right now, I'd love to watch it. Would love to kind of sit back and I started trying to watch the Ozarks and wasn't, it was okay. But there's just so much. I've been on a kick, especially the past couple months with just crypto and Ether, that I really do think that there is so much opportunity right now. I wish I had more money to throw into it, but I am not going to do that. Or I'm going to do that at a slow pace, essentially. But I'm doing that at a slow pace to kind of see what's going on from the perspective of Ozarks. OJ versus the People. I saw the first couple episodes of that, stopped watching it. Orange is the New Black. I have never watched it. Actually never watched it. I'm trying to think of what. I can't even think. I'm just staring at these charts right now and can't even think of Netflix. Those are all definitely things I might look. I'm probably gonna finish the first season of Ozarks and see what's going on there and kind of what's happening with that. But I mean, overall, really with this kind of whole crypto thing right now, I still think that we're so early on. I initially got into things in 2013. I saw like a Business Insider article about Bitcoin, and then I saw a Business Insider article about Dogecoin. So I actually started mining Bitcoin and Dogecoin back in the day, and I think my computer is still screwed up because I was mining Dogecoin on I think it was a Dell laptop. I was mining it on my GPU, and it still like melts to this day. So that Don't, just, I don't think many of you are doing this, but if you're going to try and mine from a GPU, don't do it with your Dell laptop. But even going back to when I was initially investing and just like looking into cryptocurrencies, back with Bitcoin, they used to have the little USB ASIC sticks, and you would actually be able to make a good amount of money doing that. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the subscribe. And again, to daily content coming out on just what's going on. If we're not able to break through 300 within the next, let's say 10 minutes or so, I'm still having a good time doing this. Within the next 10 minutes or so, I wish there was somebody in my house that could bring me a beer because I am getting thirsty. But going back to just like Bitcoin as a whole, and like kind of when I initially got into this kind of phase, or not this phase, when I got into this space or really interested in this space, I mean, you literally could actually make money mining off a USB stick. Obviously now that's not freaking possible because places like China have freaking Bitcoin mining farms that would take you 8 billion years to ever be able to mine anything now as like an individual without hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that the whole process of mining and just seeing the price of Bitcoin back in the day, and Dogecoin, which was the silliest thing and still somehow has a top 40, top 30 market cap, that's incredible. And I think really right now where we are, if you look at just the overall market cap, I mean, $100 billion, $115 billion market cap for all of crypto, mostly driven by Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if you're looking at that market cap as a whole, it's really, from a global financial perspective, not that crazily high. Not that crazily high. There was an article on Business Insider today about Warren Buffett has, I'm assuming it's for Berkshire Hathaway, but Warren Buffett has $100 billion in cash with Berkshire Hathaway. $100 billion. Basically, if Warren Buffett wanted to right now, Berkshire Hathaway could buy 90% of all existing cryptocurrency on the planet. So when you think about that, obviously Berkshire Hathaway is a massive, massive company. But I mean, when you think about that, that kind of goes to show the overall scope of the size of cryptocurrency and the size of this market in general, and where we kind of stand with things, where things are potentially lying, and where we can go in the future. Even looking at something like, different things like Ethereum, or like some of these applications built off of it. I mean, if any of these applications ever come to the place, let's take Status, for example. Status has a $250-300 million market cap right now as a, kind of the WeChat for Ethereum, or whatever people want to call it, as a messaging application built on the Ethereum, on the Ethereum protocol, or the Ethereum blockchain. Status, if that was a multi-billion dollar startup, if that was a $3 billion startup, that's going up 10x return on investment. So there's a really strong case to be made in a lot of perspectives for taking some shots on these companies, I think, and especially Ethereum. I've seen so many just intelligent people that are kind of calling this gold rush. And that's why in a lot of respects, I don't want to miss out. I've been participating in this market somewhat lightly for the past couple of years, and I've kind of just continued to study, and now in a lot of cases I'm kind of doubling down, or really investing and trying to pick where I think the most success is going to be, and in my mind Ether is one of those places. And as we're looking at these charts right now, we're getting pushed down closer and closer to 296. Let's see if we go below that. We previously had a little bit of support at 297, but that's kind of fallen off the map, hitting down to 296. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what's going on with Bitcoin, or where that might be running to. If anything there has been affecting the overall price of ETH. It looks like maybe. I don't know how far of a candle drop that is. I can't really see it on this screen too well, but I mean, as I'm sure most of us know, ETH within the past month or so has in a lot of cases followed the movements of Bitcoin, with some more drastic drops and some more drastic upswings, which has been good in a lot of senses, but Sometimes ETH is doing well fundamentally. Something good comes out and Bitcoin goes to shit. ETH goes to shit for no reason other than that's what's happening in the market right now. So we are down to 295 or now. We still have, let's say, a 10K sell wall at 300. I might be jinxing it right now. So I will, I know we still have a couple more people on this stream, but I'll take why don't I give it 5 more minutes here? If anybody has any more questions, I'll take those questions now. And otherwise, I'll end the stream because apparently I suck and I'm bad luck. And then I will just pop in and film another video when we do fingers crossed, break 300. I'll film a video there. I'll pop in and stream something. But any questions right now, please let me know. Happy to take anything off the cuff. Really, could be anything. Don't even care. And as well, if you haven't yet, shoot me a subscribe to the channel. It's pretty much brand new, but we'd really love a subscribe so you can start getting these videos and I can talk about some things. It's a bear trap. I would love to see a bear trap for sure. It's I think that's a pretty realistic possibility. I mean, I think there's some good legs here. Take it easy, Swish. Would love to see it being a bear trap. Like I said, I'm all in right now. I'm not selling on a $5 move. I think that would be probably a waste of your time, or not waste of your time. I don't want to give any financial advice or trading advice because I'm not at that level. But I'm holding on because I think once we hit that 300, whether that happens in 30 minutes, in an hour, or tonight while I'm sleeping, that's going to be big news for ETH, and I think it's going to power the hell through 300 to hopefully 310, maybe above. So that'll be an interesting thing. I know somebody before mentioned the previous level of resistance, or the next level of resistance outside of 300 is 330. Now, obviously, people could put in more sell orders, so but that would be pretty interesting to see. Any other questions as we're battling 295 here to hopefully make our way back up? Happy to take them, but again, I really appreciate everybody's time. This was a lot of fun, just kind of shooting the shit with all you. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and if you haven't yet, again, hit the subscribe button. I don't have any website or any course or newsletter like that I'm selling or any BS. Just kind of hanging out and wanted to talk to you all. So hopefully when I hang up this live stream, we're going to run back up and hit 300, and I'm just the bad luck jinx that that it looks like. So appreciate everybody's time. I hope y'all have a good night. I'll see you on the other side of 300, and hope you guys take it easy.